Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of our live streams. We broadcast typically every Tuesdays and Thursday. It is such a pleasure to have you on board today. My name is Dina Madonsela. If you don't know me, I'm an entrepreneur. I speak, I teach, and I train small businesses on how to grow and scale their businesses. Today, I am very excited. I've got an amazing guest. I always say this, but I literally, I literally make sure that I bring people that can share their knowledge, can really just, just give us some practical tips and tools. I do give you business leaders and people that are, obviously doing amazing stuff in their industries. And I'm happy today that I've managed to secure an interview with Andile Khumalo, who is a seasoned entrepreneur himself and the owner of I Am an Entrepreneur platform. Just before I introduce him, if this is your first time joining one of the lives, feel free to say hello and drop me, your location. Tell me where you are joining us from. If you are joining us from outside of the country, welcome, welcome, welcome. Please don't let this be your last time joining, and do me a favor, as usual, please click on the arrow and share this to as many of your people as possible. I aim to obviously have these conversations to actually just enrich and edify the entrepreneur and the small business owner on the ground. So it would really mean a lot for me if you just share this live so that as many people can join in and engage in the conversation. Those that know me, my voice is a little bit off today. I am still feeling a little bit under the weather, but I came and I showed up and we are going to do this. So, I also just want to check the time delay. Can everybody see me? Can everybody hear me? Just give me the number 1 if you are in this broadcast and you can see me and hear me clearly so that I can then go ahead and add Andile onto the broadcast. So give me the number 11111 if you can see and hear me clearly, please. Okay, amazing. Okay. Okay, so I see there's a little bit of a time delay, but we go on. Alrighty, so let me add on Andile. Thank you to everybody that is dropping the ones, guys. I see you. Thank you for that.
Hey,
Hello.
how are you?
I'm well. How are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
Alrighty. It is such an honor and a privilege to actually have you on my live streams, Andile. Thank you so much for agreeing to be part of this.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it as well. It's been I've been watching some of the stuff you guys have been doing and posting and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's a pleasure to be here.
Amazing. So I did try to introduce you briefly to say that you are, the founder of I Am an Entrepreneur, and you are actually, in fact, a chartered accountant. So you are a qualified chartered accountant, CA. I'm not going to ask you how you do all these things because you're also then the chairman of Simodisa organization and all of that. But what I want to get into, Andile, is really just the background story. We see Andile, who he is today, a successful entrepreneur, a seasoned broadcaster, and, obviously you wear all these other hats. But I just want to get a little bit of the background story, like where do you come from? Where did you sort of grow up? What have you been doing that has led you to where you are now?
So I am from a township in Durban called Umlazi. I was born and bred in Umlazi, and I come from a very big family of mostly teachers. My grandfather was a principal, my grandmother was a principal, my mother was a principal, my aunts and uncles were teachers. So we come from a very kind of, very education type family, very spiritual family as well. So that's kind of my background. Grew up pretty much like any other township boy. But for as long as I can remember, I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always been fascinated by business. I've always been fascinated by people that do business. All the way from kind of the stuff you see as a kid growing up, taxi owners, the butchery
Yeah,
guy, the guy who owns the corner shop or whatever, even the shebeen guy, So those things always
yeah,
fascinated me. I don't quite know why, but they just have. And
yeah,
I kind of stuck with that. I was very fortunate to kind of have that passion for business in general. I
yeah.
can't really explain why that was, but I was just always
Mm,
fascinated by it. So later on in the school life, when you got to high school and we had to pick careers and what are we now going to study in university, I've
yeah.
always wanted to do something in the business line. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. All right, that sounds amazing. I mean, and typically, for any sort of young person growing up in a small township, it's not very often that people can have like these huge dreams of sort of like, making it in the mainstream or making it even in Joburg.
Yeah.
Was this, I mean, would you then attribute your sort of making it to sort of your family background? What is it that you actually attribute all this like basically success to as
I
a
think,
young boy growing up?
yeah. Look, I think, there is a level of your input and your hard work. There's no doubt that
Yeah,
one has worked hard. There's no doubt. I mean, um,
yeah, yeah,
I probably have always been industrious, and I probably always had the knack or the ability or the desire to really put
yeah.
in a lot of effort in anything that I do, just generally speaking. And that generally will always hold you in good stead, just to make sure that you're diligent, just to make sure that you're always on top of your game and ahead of any expectations people will have of you. So whether
Mm,
you're churning out a document or you're having an interview with Dina or whatever it is that you're doing, try and make sure that everything that you do, at least the parts you can control, are the best of your
yeah.
ability. So I do think there's an element of ability, but I'd be lying to you to say it's all ability. A lot of
Okay.
it, in my view, has to do with the people that support you and the people that give you the opportunities for you to take. Yes, the other half is you to take the opportunity. The other half is
Yes.
to absolutely smash it and make sure that, whatever little opportunity you can turn into something bigger. But it doesn't really happen if you don't have the opportunity. And that for me is
Mm,
probably the biggest injustice, I would say,
yeah,
for most young people, particularly Black people, is the
yeah.
fact that there aren't enough opportunities that they get access to for them to be in a position of trying to build some success. So in summary, I think yes, it's you. You
Mm,
have to be at your absolute best.
yeah.
But a lot of it, when I look back at my career, I can literally go back and connect dots of people who helped me, who opened the door, who made an introduction, who challenged me, who
Mm,
encouraged me, who did something for me to be here. It is not always just about you. In fact, it is hardly ever really about you. It is often for the people that give you the shot. And oftentimes we don't ask for that. That's why you sent me an email.
yeah.
We've never met before. You've seen some of the work I've done. You found me. You
Yeah.
asked me to be here. I'm
Yeah.
here. I can tell you hundreds of other stories of many people probably just still thinking about making the call or sending the email. And that
Yeah. Yeah.
shows that special ability I'm talking about of kind of taking the initiative and being your best. You do this enough times, you do
Yeah.
this enough times in the things you want for yourself, the doors will open and the opportunity to be there, and people will connect you because you're
Yeah.
constantly pushing the envelope and you're asking for that connection.
Yeah. I totally agree. I totally agree with that. So now, I mean, so now let's drive straight into the conversation, right? About, small businesses, entrepreneurs. We are the hardest hit with this pandemic, right? And we could attribute that to many reasons. But I just wanted to get your opinion on this. Why are small business owners the most hard hit when it comes to this, COVID pandemic?
Well, we speak of small, first of all, we speak of small business people as if they're some kind of unique species outside of normal business. In almost every country, including our own, the biggest chunk of business is small business. The biggest
Yeah,
proportion
yeah,
of economic activity comes from a small business. There's a high
yeah,
number of really small um, businesses or economic enterprises that make up the private sector, or what you call the private sector of an economy. It's economies are not run, contrary to public
yeah.
belief, are not run by big corporates.
Business.
They made up of
Okay.
really small businesses. So the first thing we got to correct in our minds is that small businesses are not this kind of construct of a bigger. No, they are the large chunk of the bigger play. We are the
Okay.
economy. So when something
Yeah,
like
yeah,
COVID-19 happens, it's going to
yeah.
hit the majority of that
The
piece, and the
economy.
majority of that
Yeah,
economy is who? It's small businesses. So that's one, right? One, we're hit because we're in the way. We are hit because we are there. We are the largest chunk of
yeah,
economic activity, certainly when it comes to measuring output from a business perspective. Two,
yeah.
unlike big companies, and even them, by the way, they're not that safe. You've seen
True.
all the headlines of the companies that have struggled in the past just few months. If you think about
Yeah,
lockdown, right? Lockdown is something that's lasted what, 4 months? There's
yeah,
companies who've applied for business rescue, the likes
yeah,
of ComAir, the guys who operate Kulula. Just 3 months of not flying suddenly makes the
yeah,
thing potentially needing business rescue. Edcon, right? You can argue Edcon started
yes,
long before lockdown, the problems that they've had. The gaming guys. I mean, I saw Sun International the other day, Toho
yes,
Sun. All of those businesses are going through like almost the end of their life just because of 3 or 4 months
of
of no
course.
activities. And these are businesses that have been around for years, decades. So you got to ask yourself the question, why? And the reason is
Yeah,
because to operate, you need cash flow. Cash must flow in the economy. The minute
yeah,
that stops, everything that runs the economy essentially stops. Just picture a traffic jam of money flow. And that means we can't finance the things that get us going. So if I'm an airline and I'm making 2% margin on my trips, but I'm,
yeah,
I'm generating, call it 10 million rand a day, I'm making 2% of 10 million. The minute I don't have
yeah,
10 million, I don't have that 2%. It's gone. It's over. Which means I'm losing the ability of taking that 10 million revenue and run it through my operation, pay for my costs, pay my people, pay my rent,
yeah,
buy my fuel, pay for my airplane. Oh, and then I make my 2% that I can put away as profit. So people miss the point that that revenue is gone. That ability to fund things is gone. Like I just don't have it anymore. The cash flow is off. And that's why these businesses are shutting down. So it's not just small businesses, it's all businesses. Small
yeah,
businesses would typically feel it more, Trina, because unlike most big businesses, we don't have the balance sheets. If you look at
yeah,
an industry that we all can relate to is restaurants. Most restaurant
yeah,
owners are passionate about food. It's typically owned by somebody that comes from a restaurating family or a chef. So they do it for the love. It's not a business that you're going to be a billionaire on. Most of those
yeah,
guys make enough money just to earn a living for themselves, you know,
yeah,
so which means they've not built balance sheets. What do I mean by balance sheets? They don't have the reserves. So if you're going to shut down a restaurant for 3 months, that's it. Nobody gets paid a salary. Certainly not the owner. Definitely not the waiters. Definitely not the kitchen staff. No rent's going to be collected by the landlord. It just puts everything to a stop, and it's putting things to a stop without the ability to go to your bank, to go to your big savings account, to go to your investment
yeah,
portfolio, sell a few shares, and be able to put money. Listed companies
yeah,
can do it. They can go to shareholders. They can do rights offers. They can raise capital in the open market, just like Sun International is doing. I read the other day they're going to raise 1.4 billion rand, I think, something like that, because they can go to shareholders and say, "Hey, shareholders, we need a billion rand." You and I,
yeah,
small businesses, there's
yeah,
no shareholder to go to. It's us. We are the
yeah, yeah.
shareholder. You know what I mean? It's like cars without airbags. We the airbag.
Exactly. Yo, it all sounds like so crazy. And it's actually we've almost gone through like a grieving process, right?
Yeah.
We've had to, adjust, we've had to pivot. Some of us, we've had to, look at different ways and different and come up with different solutions of how we can actually make this work, right?
Yeah.
What do you think are some of those things that we should actually be looking at? And just the practical, like on a practical level, the day-to-day solutions that small businesses can, look at to actually
Yeah.
turn this around.
So, Tina, I'm gonna talk to you like a father should talk to his children when they ask, Dad, should I get married?
Yes.
Right?
Yes, please.
Because
Yes.
you see, all parents wish well for their children. When the child says,
Yeah.
Dad,
Yeah.
I've fallen in love, I've met him or her as the man or woman of my dreams, I want to spend the rest of my life
Yeah.
with them. What we parents
Uh-huh.
typically say is, You go, my child. Well done. You found love. Amazing. All the best.
Yes.
And then they
Uh-huh.
get married and they get on the other side and they're like, oh snap. Is this the thing? How come nobody ever told me? How come no one sat me down and said, look, one, you're living with
Yeah.
someone you've never lived with before. Two,
Yeah.
you don't really know them because you've never lived with them before. So guess what? You're
Yeah.
probably gonna really get to know them. And three, you'll come from different backgrounds, different upbringings. Four, five, six, seven, eight. No one tells you that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do you a favor. I'm gonna I'm
Okay.
gonna tell you what you're gonna see on the other side. So
Please, please.
number one,
Yeah.
don't be scared to let it go. Don't be
Okay.
afraid to just stop. Some business models are not gonna survive. So this
Oh,
idea of ukuthi ngiyapusha ngiyaphanda, I'm gonna, shama cross 90, I'm gonna push against the wind, never say die and never give up. That's good for as long as you can
yeah.
see the light at the end of the tunnel. For as long as you are
Yeah.
convinced that this thing that you're working on, this baby
Yeah.
of yours, this business of yours, as long as you're convinced that it still is going to succeed, you can see the light, then
Yeah.
absolutely go for it. Absolutely do not give up. But
Okay.
if you had to do an honest assessment and you've assessed that Yazishem into Yamne, as much as I love it, it's just not going to fly in this environment. There's nothing wrong with just stopping and moving on to something else. I find many entrepreneurs, they sip this Kool-Aid of never give
Yeah.
up, even when
Yeah.
the best thing they can do for themselves is walk away from that particular thing. Because
Yeah.
there actually isn't, by their own assessment, the
Yeah.
chances of success are very low. So fail quickly if you're going to fail
Yeah.
and move on to something else if it's not going to work. Now, if it is going to work, if you're still convinced that this is the thing that you should be pouring your time,
Yeah.
your money, and your effort. Often people don't think about the time. Every day we wake up, we're getting older. You don't want to waste your formative years on something that when you look back, you go, I wasted 5, 10 years of my life on this
Yeah.
idea when I could have just paused and said, actually, as of today, when I assess Izindo, no matter how much I love
Yeah.
this thing, I don't think it's going to work. So let's imagine you have, right? Let's imagine you've now convinced yourself that this is going to work. I would say there's a few features that COVID-19 has taught us. One, it has taught us that we can no longer delay connectivity of customers with products and services. People are now forced to procure using connectivity, using the internet. So you have to find a way that allows your customers to first discover you on the World Wide Web and then be able to transact with you on the internet. No matter how long lockdown will last, no matter how long it'll take for us to get a vaccine, if there's
Yeah.
one thing that is clear to me, is that for those of us who are resisting that digital migration, we've just been pushed over the cliff by COVID-19. And if your business cannot survive and potentially thrive in a world of connectivity, you're going to be in a very challenged space in years to come. You've got to find a way for people to interact with you. One, just discover you first of all, and there's very basic solutions for that. A simple
Yeah.
Google My Business account makes you discoverable. People can see your place of work. They can see your pictures. They can see your trading hours. They can email you. They can call you. They can chat, and it's a free thing. And there are
Yeah.
entrepreneurs that don't have it. They just don't have it. So how are people going to find you if you don't have something as simple as that? So you've got to be absolutely connected. Two for me is teams, people.
Mm.
When all is said and done, human beings crave human interaction because it's just the way we are
Yeah.
built. We want to deal with another human being. I want to talk to you, another human being. I want to see your face. I want to see you smile. I want to see your earrings. I want to see your lipstick. I want to see the way you did your hair. Because that's just human nature, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So if we
True.
can't overlay that connectivity, that digital migration with a human touch, I think you then are missing some of the reasons why people deal with certain businesses and don't deal with others. My wife uses the internet a lot for buying stuff. And she's one of those people who completes, those little surveys people send you after the service. So if we go on holiday, she's that person who's sitting there, boy, filling in that guest book. And the hotel sends the email and she fills it in. I'm like, why do you do this stuff? And she's a
Yeah.
believer in it because she wants to give feedback because she believes she'll only spend her money with people that value her money, right? So if you don't have the human touch in your wonderful product or service, guess what? Yeah, they may come the first few times, but if you don't bring that connectivity, it's not likely to happen. So in my own businesses, I have learned just the power of having really great people run those businesses. And for me to play
Yeah.
my role and let those people play their role. And it's wonderful to see people just come alive, enjoy their, and even they can see that they are
Hmm.
dealing with someone who's there agile enough to respond to their queries, as opposed to everybody looking for you and you are not available enough for your clients.
Yeah, 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 yeah. So I mean, it's pretty clear. It's very clear that it's become so much more important, to be able to build that know, like, and trust factor, right?
Absolutely.
Because I'm sure you would agree with me. If a lot of us are now, waking up, or hopefully, a lot of us will wake up to the fact that we are in a digital economy. We are in an economy where connectivity and that interaction, even though it's online, is very important, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
What are some of the things that we can do to actually make sure that we build that know, like, and trust factor as small businesses?
Oh, by the way, shout out to everybody that's joined. I'm seeing lovely comments, including Neo taking a shot at my Liverpool shirt. Thank you, Neo.
Yeah, yeah. I'll try not to get into that.
Yeah, it's impossible.
But I mean, there we go.
You must just allow us, guys. Allow us, man, for the next
Okay,
week. For the
okay.
next week or so, we'll be fine next week. So, so I'm gonna say something controversial, right?
Okay.
You know, there's nothing as difficult as doing business with someone you don't like.
Yeah.
Like that's just hard. And by like, I don't really have to know you. I just gotta watch
Yes.
how you deal with me. And I'll go back to the example of your email to me. You were very
Yeah.
warm in your email. You told me
Yeah.
exactly what it is that Small Business Runway does. You told me what we're going to be
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Every communication was clear. I'm
Yeah.
here. You're ready. You're on time. I mean, you look
Yeah.
better than me, certainly, in terms of being ready for this interview. Like, I
Thank
like you.
you.
Like, I wanna do this with you. You follow?
Wow.
Now
Yeah.
let's go back and talk about someone who screwed up that whole process, right? Somebody who didn't email on time, who was not clear about what they wanted, who's late for this, who's all over the show, who doesn't their background is.
Yeah.
I mean, you are collected, my sister. You got this thing under lockdown. So the
Thank
first
you.
the first rule of how to build trust,
Yeah.
be professional.
Yeah.
Because people want to work with people they like. People want to
Yeah.
say, yo, hey, I was being interviewed by this lady. I didn't know her. Her name is Tina. It was really awesome. Because we don't
Yeah.
know where our paths will cross. So be professional. Two, don't be an a-hole. I like to use that very often. Don't be
Okay.
don't be an a-hole. I'll tell you why. If you are someone who's just people don't like to deal with because you're just a horrible person. You're not likable, you're not
Mm.
warm, you've got these tendencies of either being aloof, or whatever it is. Don't create an aura around you of negativity, because people will repel. People will stay away from you. Rather, create an aura of warmth. Create an aura of warmth. Create an aura where people are attracted to be with you. They want to be with you because you smile, you're approachable. Just don't be an a-hole. The minute you're an a-hole, you've just halved your chances of success on almost anything. Because even the people who deal with you will deal with you because they have to. The minute they have a choice, they'll be like, cheers, I don't want to have anything to do with that guy ever again.
Sure. And then we overlook these things. It literally is the small things. I mean, I think also on my side, I get so many DMs where people are like, please help me, please help me. But half of it, it's like, I help you with what? What are you trying to do? And it's like the basic stuff you would think is so obvious, but we still get it wrong.
Absolutely, absolutely. And of course, people make the mistake also that, business or being in business is this, shall I say, prestigious thing, So once you start being on the come up, you must act like, you're the man, or you're happening, which means, you don't take certain calls, or you don't talk to certain people, or, you only go to certain places, whatever. That's cool. Enjoy your movie. Enjoy your hip hop video. In reality, people want to work with people they like. So if you're not prepared to be someone who's likable, chances are it's going to be a very difficult journey. If you think about it as well, and a last point on this, most people that are a-holes in business are often very successful people. If you really think about it, like the real asholic people that you meet, who are just like uncouth, who are brash, they are often very rich people or very successful people. You know why that is? Because they can afford to be. Because they can afford to be. They actually couldn't give a rat's behind about what you and I think about them. But for the rest of us that are still building, don't be an asshole. Just don't do it.
Just don't do it. Oh my gosh. I hope everybody is taking note of that. You would be surprised of how many people are, wearing these broad shoulders. Just don't do it, guys. Okay. Sure. Now, okay, Andile. So let's just say I've decided that, listen, my business will thrive. There is an opportunity for me to, still hold on and do the best that I can to make my business work, right? Where can I go to for help? And not just financial help, but real serious, whether it is mentorship, whether it is, somebody that can help you with, just planning of your business, a strategy session, anything of that sort. Where can small businesses really go to for help?
I love this question because it's often asked, Lina, from a position where people are like waiting for this messianic source of light and information and blessing, and something that's going to come over you, and voila, you're going to be this amazing business
person. And then
person.
Things work.
All right? It's right in front of you. It's called the internet. Google is your friend. There is so much information that is available. People just don't go out and find it. They want to get it in some predetermined way. I want Andile to be my mentor, so we can sit down and I can tell him about my business, and then he can give me feedback. If you're in an industry and you want to feedback on your business, just research. Find out what other people are doing around the world. Follow people that are in your kind of business on Instagram, on Twitter. Put that thing on notifications, so that when that person tweets, they're tweeting, so you don't miss a tweet, because they're in the business that you're in. Learn from them. Email them. Read their website. Read the things they write and talk about. Follow their webinars. The point I'm making is there is so much information. We got to switch our expectation as entrepreneurs about the help we need. It's not going to come from government. It's not going to come from some incubator. It's not going to come from some corporate ESD kind of program. It's going to come from you wanting that information or that help and going onto the World Wide Web, people. It's really not that expensive. If you're on Twitter and you're on Facebook, you can Google. Go there and teach yourself and learn about the things that you need. Now, There are times where you might need advice, real advice, interaction.
Okay,
Do
yes, yes.
do what we've already spoken about. Go out there and talk and ask the people to help you. You reached me. You didn't have to make a whole appointment. You found me. I don't know where you
Yeah.
found me, but you did. You know what? Because you really wanted to find me. so, so, so if you really want the information, you'll find the people that can help you. I'm looking at the people that are already just on our live chat now. Banzi Malinga, shout out to him. He's an attorney, this man. He was a partner of one of the biggest firms in South Africa. He's heading up legal at Vodacom. If you want legal advice, hit him up. Hey, put Banzi, I was talking about this. What do you think? Find him. Because these people are here. They're here right now watching this live chat. Why are they here? Because they can be found. Dave Tiltman is the CEO of AME. They own all the radio stations in the Eastern Cape there and also in the Free State. They own MoneyWeb, you know, the news platform MoneyWeb. He can help you. He knows a lot about the media industry. He's here on Instagram. He's joining our call. The point I'm making is that you'll be surprised that these people are willing to help. But no one asks. No one asks. We all wait and we hope that somehow uzofika a Messiah of sorts that's going to come and save us. No one's coming. It's just us.
Yeah. But Andile, why do small businesses think like that though? Because I'm actually guilty of that. Because there are points and times where I know I've got an amazing idea.
Yeah.
I need some kind of, whether it be sponsorship or somebody to partner with, especially for, some of my, events. I used to do these small business expos where we obviously meet, face to face. But now with the digital, with everything that's happening, I've had to think of ways I can actually turn it into some kind of, a digital, expo. And now there's all these people. I mean, I hear what you're saying, right? Where you say, go and approach these people, go and speak to these people. You can find information. But what is it about the mentality of a small business owner that we all think that, firstly, approaching big people is difficult. Approaching big, corporate.
Sorry, I'm asking Klina here. You're supposed to be interviewing me. I'm going to interview you. Why is it difficult?
Exactly. So in my experience, listen, in my experience, I don't consider myself somebody who's well known. I know what I want. Going for it is not a problem. It's getting the people that I need to believe in me, which is what I think, at least. I may be wrong.
But here we go, right? I don't know you, right? You're trying to get to me.
Yeah.
So I can't believe in you yet because I don't know enough to believe in you.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
So you need me to believe in you when I don't know you. How am I going to believe in you when I don't know you?
Okay, so then what do I need to do for you to know me so that you can believe me?
What did you do to get me here? You do exactly what you did to get me here. One, you showed me the credibility. Small Business Runway is not Mafigizon. You built this baby. As you rightly say, you used to have these physical events. That's a brand that did those things. You've now taken it online. You are updating content constantly, right? You're tagging us, you're sharing, you're following, you're commenting, you're putting in the work. So by the time you emailed me and told me about Small Business Runway, you were not a stranger to me. You went and did the Google thing I was talking about. You've done that. So you come with me with some credibility because you are in the ecosystem that I'm in. And you're looking for me to come on your platform because we share something. We share our passion for small business. We are business people, right? So that made me, quote unquote, trust you. That made me go, I want to hang out with her. Absolutely.
Okay.
Right? So that's a start, right? So now I'm here. We're having this conversation. We can build on that. The point that you asked a valid question. What is the mindset issue? I often think the mindset issue in Atlina is that many of us, we've already got a preconceived idea of what the solution is or the outcome that we seek. So you made the example about sponsorship. You will sit in your office, well, at home now. You sit at home, you work out. I've got this event. I need a sponsorship for so much, and this is what's going to happen. Nah. So now I'm going to go to Mr. FNB, and I'm going to tell him about this event that I have, I'm going to tell them how I want it to happen. I'm not asking for the money. The problem is that the solution that you've decided you need is the money for the event that you have. But maybe that's not the help that you need from an Andile or someone else before you go to an FNB. Maybe what you think you need, maybe there's other things you need before you get to going in front of FNB and saying, here's my proposal, I want this. Do you understand?
Yeah.
And many people don't want to put in the work. Many people don't want to put in the work. They just want it now. They want it all now because there's obviously a lot of frustration, right? You know, a good friend of mine, you might know him actually, Skinny Smooth Socks. Remember Smooth? Smooth had a video about, I want my 5 million now. I don't want any support. I don't want any mentorship. I just want 5 million.
Yes,
I loved that because it was expressing a frustration. Because the other frustration is that you're constantly learning, but nobody ever trusts you with capital, right? And he was saying, I've been running this brand for so long. People are buying my products. I'm a big customer of his. Why don't you give me the money? Why are you constantly want to incubate me? Which is a valid point. But
Andile, that's exactly my challenge. Just, by the by. Anyway, yes.
No, go for it. You were saying your challenge?
No, I'm saying that's precisely my challenge. You know, I've done some of the work. I've done the work. There is credibility. I've done business, you know, with the likes of Yoko Technologies. I've done business with the DTI. Yeah. I've done business with the Department of Small Business Development. My thing is, what else is needed to prove that I can actually deliver and do the job?
You don't have to prove you can do the job. There's not a contest for you to prove. There's a contest for you to get that money. That's it.
Yeah, so why am I not getting that money? Is my thing.
Because you're trying to prove you can do it. Don't try to prove you can do it. Just focus on how to get the money. What I'm trying to say is, in summary, what I'm trying to say is the following. You have done this before, physical events. You did not do online. You've now come up with a way to pivot this thing into a digital platform because we are here now, right?
Yes.
So you know you can do it, right? You know that. I may not know that, the sponsor. Because I know Cleaner who used to do that, physical events, right? So Cleaner may need to do some work to show me that she knows how to do it in the way she now wants to sell it to me. Yeah. Because otherwise, why would I go back to the trust issue?
Yes.
Right? Yes. So that might mean you doing some of these events out of your own bat, not making any money, getting sponsors just to pay for the costs, for you to put in the work to build that credibility. But when it comes down to selling to customers, unfortunately, it's not a soup kitchen. I don't get one and you get one. The best person wins. So often, it may not be because you are a problem. It may just be that you're not being successful at being able to close the sale. Not because there's something wrong with you or there's something wrong with your proposition. Also, the economic situation is very different now to what it was pre-COVID. So it is very tough for a lot of these sponsors. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't be married to an outcome. Be prepared to do some other work that you may need to do, which may even mean tweaking your ultimate product to get to that deal you're trying to sell. But don't be so married to, all I want is my 100,000 sponsorship, because that's difficult. You're making it a binary decision. It's either I'm going to give you 100,000 or not. Rather give you some optionality. You know, is there an option for me to put 10,000? Can I sponsor a cell phone prize and still put my brand? Can I?
Yes. Okay, geez. Okay, that's wow. I think this has been beneficial for me more than anything. But I also want it to be beneficial, you know, for the people that are on this platform. So if anybody has like a question that you want to direct to Andile, please drop it in the comments so that we can ask you while we still have you here. But I mean, everything that you're saying makes absolute sense. It makes sense. A lot of it has to do, of course, with the mindset that, you know, we are so obsessed with, you know, I want this. And, you know, sometimes the other issue that I'm seeing is that people cling on to certain people. And I mean, it's that Messiah thing that you were saying, that we want to Andile to help me because I feel like Andile is the one
Yeah.
that will save me or, miraculously make things happen for me. And so I was just seeing somebody, I just see some of the comments that are saying, Andile, I've got a proposal for you.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you get that quite a lot, actually.
Every day of my life. Every day. Twice on Sundays.
Oh my word. It is. So it's quite something else to now think, no, you know what? I can actually, Andile is not gonna come and save me. Andile is not gonna come and just and
No.
I'm sure it's a
Oh my
hot
God.
pill. Yeah.
And then what happens when I clean it?
This is crazy.
So the person then sends the email, right? The proposal, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Because it's my love job. I make time in my day to respond. I even have a folder for those kind of emails. So I will read through the thing, and if I think it'll take too long to write a whole email, I'll pick up the phone and I'll give them feedback. And when I tell them what I think, remember, this is only what I think. It's not the truth. It's not the gospel. I'm not the Messiah. I'm just another entrepreneur like you. We are the same. We all just trying to figure this out. But I can give you my thoughts. I can tell you what I think. That I can give you. When I do, I then hurt people, and they get broken, and they get touched, and they're like, "Oh my God, Andile, I sent him this thing, and now he's telling me he's just like, just shut down my dreams." And oh no, I've just said. And then I always ask, what did you want me to say? Do you want me to lie to you and say, Tina, this is a brilliant idea. You go, girl. Is that what you want? If that's what you want, don't send it to me. Because I will tell you the truth. I don't want to lie to you because this is your life. You could spend 10 years pursuing something that if you just ask for an opinion from someone else, and you don't have to listen to them, but at least you have it at the back of your mind. You could have saved yourself 10 years of your life. So I always say to people, if you want to share something with me, that's cool. Just be happy and be prepared that whatever response I'm going to give, I'm going to give. And it's not always bad. Some of it is good. But a lot of times, it's go back and rework. And you just watch people's faces drop when someone says go back and rework. You ask them, who are your competitors? What's in the market that does the same thing you're doing? Oh, no, we're the first. We're the very first. What do you mean? You're the only one that does this? Yeah. This is our technology. We built it ourselves in our garage. It's amazing. We're the only guys. And then you go, let's go. No. Then you just pull your iPad out. You just Google. Google, it tells you how many seconds it takes to find the hits at the top there. It tells you that 0.01 seconds from 10 million answers. First three companies that do exactly the same thing in the market. People are buying from them. They've got customers. They've got big brands. You go, but guys, same thing. Or unless yours is different. You see, it's different when I put Andile. It's not like that. Hey, true.
Mine is,
Now we're debating something else now, right? So yes, I get it a lot.
Yeah. No, I mean it just seems almost ridiculous actually, as you're saying it. Like you give them the feedback they need, but they again have their own end goal. They're married to their own ideas, which is what you were saying. Right.
That's okay. You can understand. You can understand why, because that's how we are as entrepreneurs. We fall in love with our businesses, and that's okay. But just don't do it so much that you shut out advice and different perspectives, because those perspectives will help you better your product. When I look at the journey of I'm an entrepreneur, we started in 2013, right? It's now 2020, 7 years ago. Everything that we are now is because someone else told us, not because I thought of it. I can't think of a single thing where I went, light bulb moment. I know what we need to do. We need to do 1, 2, 3. No. Like somebody told me about it, or I saw it, or in passing, they were like, yo, Andy, that was a great event. It'd be really cool if you did 1, 2, 3. And they just kind of walked by. I was like, oh, snap, that's a good idea. Then I go and Google it a little bit, research it. So I'm always listening for feedback, because people people pay you every day. All you gotta do is just listen. And then you must act. Then you must act. Yeah. Because people tell you stuff all the time. But asifuna ukulalela
Yeah.
thina, angithi we're married. Funa ukuthi into ibe the thing that I want. It's my proposal.
Yes.
I need 100,000 rand. Just give me the 100,000, okay? Stop telling me you want to
Yes.
change stuff because it's my baby.
Yeah.
Doesn't work. Doesn't
Yeah.
work.
Wow. Yo. And then Angela, what keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated? Ah, that's a good question. Maybe it's a question I never really think about.
Oh,
What
really?
keeps me motivated? I don't know. I think generally I'm I'm happy when I'm fulfilled. So I'm happiest when I'm in a place where I feel like whatever work I'm doing is
Mm.
fulfilling, pays the bills, but is personally fulfilling. So
Yeah.
my zest for life, my love for people, my love for solving problems, um, my enjoyment of just using the gifts I have. You know, the older you get, the more you realize that there's just certain things that you are just good at. You can't even explain why. You see things
Yeah.
differently to other people. How come you can read a sentence and see something else that other people can read the same sentence and see something different? You learn to accept those things. You stop questioning why. You stop being
Yeah.
what's the right word? You stop having imposter syndrome. You know that syndrome where you're like, oh my god,
Yes.
should I? Maybe I shouldn't talk. Maybe I
Yeah.
should raise my hand. Maybe you. The more confidence you build, the more you accept and live out your talents. You know what I mean? And that, I really enjoy that. I really enjoy being able to see the things I'm able to do that I just do almost effortlessly because it's my gift. You have a gift that I don't have. You must own it as much, and that gives me joy. Um, Beyond that, I can't think of anything else. Money used to absolutely. Certainly, when I started out, you had this thing of making a lot of money.
So
But
now what has changed then?
because I soon learned that having a lot of money and no time is of no use.
Mm.
Because when do you spend the money? When do you enjoy the money? And I also learned that money is important to be able to afford the lifestyle that you want. But once you can afford the lifestyle that you want, what's the value of money? You know, you can only sleep on one bed at a time. You can only drive one car at a time. You know, the law of diminishing returns tells you
Yeah.
that your level of satisfaction at the initial
Yeah.
stages is much higher than later on. In fact, they say that
Oh.
the returns are not as great the more of it you have. And in university, I had this professor. I'll tell you a story. Who's still a friend of mine, in fact, today. Um, Professor, he's now a doctor, Adrian Saville, and he was our economics one lecturer. And he drew the law of diminishing returns. And he used an example of a beer, because you're university, you're a teenager, you just left home, you're staying in res, you're experimenting
Yeah.
with everything. So we're all like started drinking. So we were very amazed at cold beer. So he
Yeah.
says, guys, I want you to imagine your first sip on a hot summer's day of an ice cold beer. And everyone's like, oh, yo, prof, oh, you got us now, boy.
That's easy to
And
imagine.
everyone's like, oh yeah, oh I can feel it going down. And it's like, yeah, can you feel the gulp of the beer as it goes down your dry throat? Wang, 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 wang. And we're like, yeah, 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 totally. He said, okay, second beer. Oh yeah, still good. Third beer, fourth beer, 10th beer,
Yeah.
20th beer. And the guy's like, no, 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 now, hey, I'm getting bloated. I'm going to the loo every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
And he says, that's the law of diminishing returns. And for me, money is no different.
Wow.
At first, you need it because you need it, right? It's the first beer.
Yeah.
You need to cover the basics. You need to quench the thirst. But
Yes.
after you've bought the 5 cars and the 5 houses and whatever else you want to buy, what then becomes its
Mm.
value? So it's a weird thing, this money thing, because the only people that get this answer are the people that have it. And the only people that go, what the hell are you talking about? Are probably the people that are
Yeah.
still in their first beer. They still need the quench.
They still need that. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
law of diminishing returns. Simple. And I was once that guy,
Oh.
right? I wanted my quench. But I think
Yeah.
as you get older, you realize there's more important things, family, time, enjoyment, life, health, being able to do the sports that you want, being able to encourage people, support people, inspire people. raising kids, watching your children grow right in front of you, building relationships, creating new friendships, new business relationships, you're meeting new families, you're traveling the world, you're meeting friends in different countries who grew up in a whole different world. There's so much more to do than just, oh no, I just want to pile up a lot of cash.
Oh, okay.
What
I'm just
happened?
laughing. I'm laughing because I'm reading the comments here. People still want the money.
Of course, law of diminishing returns, guys. It's not. We don't all start at 10 beers.
We want the
We
money.
start at 1 beer, one. So if you still have the thirst to be
Yeah,
preached, you are right.
yeah.
You need beer. So
You
go
need
again.
beer.
But you get to a
Yeah,
point where you start losing. You can't walk straight anymore. Your tummy is
yeah.
bloated. You start realizing, hey, man, hey, I must start drinking water
Actually,
now.
yes. Yeah, yeah.
Same analogy.
Oh, that's a very interesting one. Sure. Alrighty, wow, Andile, I could go on with you. Like I enjoy listening to you. And I mean, you're so practical, even with the examples that you're giving, and I'm so grateful that I actually had the opportunity to talk to you, to pick your brain. I mean, I did say this was going to be a casual conversation, and I've enjoyed it thoroughly. And I'm sure my audience can agree. So thank you so much for doing this. And
You're welcome.
you know, I mean, I can't wish you more money.
No,
So
you must still wish me more money. What do you mean? I just said it's not the thing that motivates me. I didn't say I don't want it.
okay, 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 I get you. But I
I
mean,
still want beer.
yo,
I still want beer. I still
you
want beer.
still want it. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
but now in moderation, right?
Now it's
I
in
mean,
moderation. Exactly. Yeah. I'm not that guy. You know, in varsity, in varsity, you used to drink to get drunk. That was the purpose of drinking. You were not
yes,
trying
yes,
to hang out with your friends and no, no. You're not a
yeah.
social
Okay,
drinker. So yes, please wish
yeah.
me money. There's nothing wrong with money at all.
Okay, so I wish you all of the money in the world. Okay, and Angela, I'm going to put you on the spot. Listen, I think I've
Yo,
got a very I've got a very good, a great voice actually for radio.
uh-huh.
Um, yes.
Do you know how many times I hear that too? I'm kidding. I hear
No,
that
that will
as
not
many
derail
times as
me.
I hear that as many times as I get the proposal. But
The
go ahead.
proposal.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Voice for radio, yes.
voice for radio. So
Hmm.
I would love for you to actually just what's this thing? Feature me in one of your I Am an Entrepreneur digital summits,
Okay.
either as a moderator or just to present.
What do you want to
Um,
do with your voice? Let me do the interview now. What do you want to do with your voice?
oh my goodness. Okay, I was never ready.
You said you have a voice
So
for radio.
I want to speak.
What do you,
I'm traditional, so I speak and I teach already. So I'd
okay.
love to be able to just moderate one of the sessions that you have online.
Uh-huh. Is that what you want to do with your voice? You don't want to be on radio? You
Yes.
want to be a speaker and a
I
moderator?
do want to be on radio. But of course,
Okay, let's start again. What do you want to do with your voice?
I want to moderate one of your sessions, Auntie.
Got it?
And then I want to be on radio.
And you want to be on radio?
Yes.
Okay, but the important thing is to moderate a session.
Moderate a session. Yes. Let's start there.
And you want a career in radio? You want to
I do want a career in radio. Yes. So I do have that.
Any radio before?
No, not formally. Not formally. No.
Okay. So how much do
So
you
there
want to be
isn't
on radio?
any, like, so badly.
So what have you done about it if you want it so bad?
No, Andile, you're putting me on the, okay. No. So, I mean, my
I'm
plan,
just
right?
asking. I'm just asking.
No, eventually. So I'm not focused on it because it's not it's not a pressing passion of mine.
Oh, okay.
It's just one of those things that I'd like to do. Sometime in the between 0 to 5 years time.
Okay. So it's not a now thing.
Yeah. So it's not a now, yes, but definitely within the next 2 to 3 years, I think I am going to start pursuing it. Yeah.
Okay, cool. But the hosting and the moderating thing is a now thing.
But the whole, yes, 100%.
Okay. All right. Cool. Done. I now know. I got your email. I know where to find you.
All right, amazing. Okay, Andile, you've been such a breath of fresh air. You've put us together. You have, helped us to get our mindset right. You have given us advice from a father point of view. So I really, really just appreciate every single thing
You're
that you've
most
done for
welcome.
me today. I wish you nothing but the best, and just keep safe, and as well as just, take care of the family as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Tina, and thanks to everyone who joined us. I see there's a lot of love in the comments. I
Yes.
appreciate all the feedback. I like the fact that many of you guys agree and many of you guys disagree. I've been called a hyper realist by Pambili. Thank you, Pambili. I don't know what that means, but it sounds like a good thing. Hey, we even got David Klale here. Hey, you see that?
Oh,
Hey,
yes.
David,
Hi.
yeah, fear of rejection, especially in our creative industries, or especially our creative industries, are always thought as entertainment and not business. There you go. That's interesting. So thanks for everybody, man, for pitching, and I appreciate it. This was a lot of fun. Well done.
Yes. Thank you.
Ciao,
Thanks,
ciao.
Andy.
Take care.
Some ciao. Cheers. Alrighty, thank you so much to everybody that has joined. I really do appreciate. I will see you guys next week with another amazing guest. Thanks, guys. This was amazing.